Hello. I know you see my arm. You saw my arm reaching out there. Now you see a bottle of glue. I'm going to show you what I've been working on. Let's start with the large one here today. I might do more videos of these two models. I'm not sure exactly. I just thought I'd do this one to start with. This one right here is going to be model of the model of the Taco Bell that we all know and go to from time to time. As you can tell, I got clips on it still because I'm still working on various parts. I'm just doing the rear part of it, and then once I get to a point to where this stick is, I'm gonna start going into the aspect of uh, of going this way, but not yet. And when I get there, then I'll show you what the other part of it of how far I've gone from that point. But here's another one. I'm gonna put this one down first. Okay, here's the other one. This one is one of many of my all-time favorites so far. This one right here is going to be the Palo store of Long's Drugstore on University Avenue. As you can tell, I got the walls on this one here, right? I'll show you the other half of it. Now, on this side, I had a wall there too, but I took it down. I will have it put back up, but as you can tell right there, see that additional lining right there? That is going to be the start of the other wall, but of course I'm going to have another foundation right here, which would connect to here, right there, and then it'll line that way, and it might be the same size as this one is, but I'm not sure yet. It all depends upon how far I need to go on that aspect. Mm, but again, this is going to be the University store, Palo Alto, California, of Long's Drugstore. And those two buildings I'm working on currently. I don't want to waste any sticks until I get these two to completion. Then I will possibly build the. I'm trying to figure out how to build the very first store of Long. which was on Piedmont Avenue. Of course, same time I might build the a model of one of the Walgreens stores, possibly the very first one. Um, and I might build also my 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 aspect and design of Wendy's, possibly. Although, if I were to build a McDonald's, it'd be my own aspect as well. I mean, although if I do, I might even do what the McDonald's brothers worked in. That'd be a good kind of a good thing because without the McDonald's brothers, there would be no McDonald's. Of course, of course, many people may say, "Well, no, if it wasn't for Ray Kroc," and on both aspects are right. I mean, I'm right and the person's right, but um, the McDonald's brothers tried the expansion concept, and they didn't go very far. So they just plainly put the fact that if their location of McDonald's succeeded, fine. If it at some point went downhill, you know. But it is because of Ray Kroc is why we have McDonald's all across this whole entire globe practically. Um, and why many of us still eat there. Let's see. I could do a Rite Aid too. I'm not sure which one though. But I'd say I'm not even sure what size though either. If you want to know why I'm doing the larger version of Taco Bell versus the Longs, I mean, doesn't mean I like Taco Bell any better than Longs really. It's just the fact that one, I have Lexmart, um, or Lexmax or whatever, of the fireplace mantles of Longs, so I want to kind of size it up with that. At least do my best to do that. And if I were to build the first store of Long, I might have to build it the same size I built in building the Taco Bell building. Would I build the very first Taco Bell? I could. That one would be probably about the same size as you saw of the Longs building that I'm building. Um, let's see. I mean, I have a list in here um, of what I want to build, but the one thing is the Longs buildings I'm keeping. The other buildings I build, like possibly the Taco Bell building, I could sell, but I'm not exactly sure quite yet because this is this is my I'd say it's my second attempt because when I tried to build the kind of a mid-sized small version of the CVS building, the very one of the very first stores, right, didn't come out right. Plus, I think I was rushing myself. So, because I thought I had everything all set up and I would be able to do whatever to whatever and all that shit. The one thing is, when I went back to the Bay Area, that it did, I did have it still, and I do have photos of it, and I will post it on my hobbies, my hobby page on Facebook. Uh, but if I were to build a CVS, which I know for a fact, if I were to build a CVS, I'd sell that damn thing. I don't much like CVS, but when it comes to model building for me though, even if I don't like the place, I'll build it and sell it. Okay, but if I like the place and if I've been to the place and if I've eaten at the place and I don't and I've gone to it even since my teens and younger age and whatnot, right? I'll build it, but I could also sell. But the if you're wondering also why I would not sell the Longs buildings, I can tell you one reason, and no, it's not because I worked there, which I did. I worked for the company, but it goes much deeper than, and only the fellow Longs employees know. And of course, they know only so much of what they hear from me, of course, but there's a lot more to it. Um, why would I sell Taco Bell even though Taco Bell might be one of my favorite ones next to McDonald's, next to Carl's Jr., Burger King, and a percentage of Wendy's, right? Although if I did build a Wendy's, I would possibly sell it because if I built one that looked exactly like the one that I worked at, I would sell it. But if I built the ones that we see today, who's to say? But for sure, the Longs buildings, right? Like this one, yeah, I know it doesn't look like much right now, just still in the building stage of it, right? Of course, it was like a two-floor section building, but yet the store was. I mean, the break room was in the basement, which would be below this, right? And the store itself was just a one level aside from the office section of the building or offices in a sense. But nonetheless, I would be do focus. I'm focusing mostly on the store itself. And of course, there was windows in the front of the structure, above the signage. Um, but it's unclear exactly what those used to be. But nonetheless, it was part of the building. Although I could leave it out, or I could add them in. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do on that one yet. I could, but more than likely, I might add it in because I want it to look exactly like it was. Even though the stupid CEO and president in 2008 put a secret sale up for lungs to be put on the market and to be bought, which was a stupid move. Joe and Tom Long wanted the thing to be lasting longer than it did, much longer. And if the and I've said this before, the CEO and president didn't want to keep the store in full operation and long lasting, then I would have done it. But they could have even asked me, but they'd never thought of it, obviously. Many people say, well, it's too late for that. Is it? I don't think so. Anyways, I thought I'd make a video of that. Not really this discussion, but this discussion, but of what where I'm at in the buildings, building the buildings anyway. Um, Again, I'm not sure if I'm going to sell the building we talked about. I could, but the Longs building or buildings, if I decide to do another one, will be given will be passed on to through my family line. And I'm not going to say if I have daughters or not, or sons or not either. But the basic fact is, if I decide to, it would go to whoever I decided them to be passed on to. Although I'm not sure. See, would you have any ideas of what to build? I mean, I don't know. I mean, if I did I've been thinking about this too. If I did a model of White Castle, I'd look for the signage, somehow or another, get it printed out, and but the one thing is, I might have my own design again of it, something that I feel that would fit it. You know, it wouldn't exactly look like the original with the little castle things on it. Although you could say, well, then it's not White Castle. Bullshit. Because there's various numbers of White Castles that don't have that little castle design on the top for various different reasons. And if I did a Carl's Jr., I would definitely sell that one, even though even though I've eaten it. If I built a Burger King, same thing. If I built, well, let's see. If I built a Target, it would possibly be about the same size as this because they go pretty big, and I wouldn't want it to be that big. Of course, if I built a Walmart, same thing, but I would sell that thing. And I think I would also sell the Target building. If I built, and I kind of drew out this too, uh, the 5 and 10 of Walton's, 5 and 10, 5 and dime essentially. If I built that, I'd probably sell it. If I built a Dairy Queen in my own design, I could keep it if I so choose. If I built a Foster's Freeze, again my own design, I could probably keep it. Uh, if I built Safeway, I'd probably be doing about the same size as this thing is going to be. Um, I could build. I've had a lot of thought on these things, and I could build them, but I would need loads of sticks, and I do have them currently. But how much I'll have left after I build these two buildings, who's to say? If you have an idea of a building that I could build that is of a retail or fast food that I have not mentioned, do note you would have to know the dimensions in a scale model sense as well as the size that you saw of the Taco Bell building. I and also that you would have to specify exactly what location, where. Um, but the one thing is that, like I said, it could end up to the size of the Longs building will be. But if it is some thing of, say, something of a building that has some historical aspects to it, like Long's, Walgreens, not so much Rite Aid, not so much Payless. You know, and let me know on that. But also have a picture of it. But also know it cannot be a part of a mall. It has to be a single standalone structure. And I may decide to build it. I may not. But if I don't, I can teach you how to. And the basic fact is that also I'm thinking as I sit here, even um, I might even build a Del Taco and sell that thing. Of course, it would be of my own design, not exactly the same size as that thing, as a Taco Bell, because I know and Del Taco has its own unique design. Although they don't really have any uniqueness to their designs, much like Taco Bell does from its very from from its very beginnings. Although when around the 80s and 70s, it didn't really show any uniqueness to their structures, but over time they began to, due to the base of architecture and design specs, whatnot. You could say the same thing about Long's, but Long's was and is something of its own uniqueness, much like each and every one of us have a certain uniqueness of our own, even within ourselves and even about ourselves. And I don't want to make this too long, but again, I will let you know and show you of how far I've gotten on both buildings. And again, this video will be shown on the Long's Way Home, with the fact that it has the Long's building on it, being, of course, again, this would be store number 292, University Palo Alto, California. Just because it's like this doesn't mean I'm done yet. I'm not. I'm not done with it. This is just a start out of the build. And I know Long's employees, you'll wonder why I took down the wall. I'll explain that. I've explained that is because I want to make sure that one. If you look at the picture that I posted on one of my other posts of this particular structure, that you will see the mid-sized piece in the center, in the front center, right? I want to size it up enough to where I can have two doors on both ends, the way it was on the structure itself. Other than that, the two doors would be side by side, and that wasn't the way the original structure is. Like I said, I want to build it like it was, and I'm gonna do my damnedest about of doing it. And like I said, I could keep it, but if you want me, if the Longs employees want me to build one, I need to see the picture of it. I need to see the store number and also what location, and basically I just need to see the structure, like the picture of the full picture of it, anyways. And even if you want to do the side of the building or diagonally of the building, that's fine too. I can easily. I'm also thinking of building the first Longs in Honolulu. That would be about the size of that one right there. And forgive me, Long's uh, page owner and admin. I just thought I'd show. This is a video of the models that I'm building, but as you know, I'm a Long's employee to the Long's admins on the Facebook page. And I am going to keep the Long's buildings I built, but of course, if there's a Long's store that someone wants me to build for them, it will take some time because I got to figure out the dimensions and the width and all that. Like I said, I could in order to send it easily. it could end up the size of this one, the way this one will be, the one I just showed you of 292. If you wanted me to build it any bigger, then of course you would have to come over to pick it up. Mm, and I know you may not want to do that, so you know. And with sending it, I might have to figure a way to where I can, to where it doesn't, where nothing happens to it during delivery. Um, although again, you could easily come over to pick it up on that one, on that aspect as well too. Um, not exactly from my living residence exactly, but we'd be able to do a meeting place, and you know, I could, and I could decide whether to do the money transfer or no money transfer. But again, if you offered a money transfer too, that's cool too. If you were to pay me for it, essentially, that's cool too. But or even if I were to say, you know, I'm not exactly sure how I do that aside from getting money for the ones that I build that are not long. Anyways, please stay safe even during this COVID-19 pandemic. And again, like I said, I will show you update videos even via my phone.